We've got to come together, which means we've got to talk to one another, and it can't be about who's winning, who's losing, because right now those that are losing are the American people, including the first Americans across the country. So today we're going to hear about how government shutdowns and agency reductions in force impact Native communities. When federal employees are furloughed, the people responsible for carrying out the government's trust and treaty obligations are unable to do their jobs. This disrupts Native communities' access to essential federal resources and services. Tribes and Native leaders are reaching out for help, and they're being told, well, can't help you now, the government is not open. And all the while, Native parents who rely on SNAP are worrying about how to feed their families. Head Start renewal deadlines are approaching with no one to process them. Maintenance and repairs at healthcare facilities are stalled, and tribal governments are dipping into their limited savings if they haven't used them up already. We know how past government shutdowns have hurt Native communities. During the 2018 partial government shutdown, the Indian Health Service had no advance appropriations at the time, forcing tribes and tribal organizations to cut services, exhaust on-hand medical supplies, and even consider temporarily closing tribe healthcare facilities. So funding for IHS isn't a luxury. I think we know well, for many, it is a matter of life and death. And that's why back in 2013, we were able to introduce legislation to provide advanced appropriations for IHS. We knew then it was going to be a long haul, but it was the right thing to do. And in the FY23 appropriations bill, we finally secured advanced appropriations for most of the IHS accounts. So today, as healthcare facilities across the country continue operating with minimal disruption during the shutdown, I think we can see the real impact that that had. In 2025, we've also seen reductions in force, the RIFs, across many departments and agencies, affecting the administration of federal programs that Native communities rely on. The loss of employees with deep institutional knowledge and longstanding relationships with Native communities weakens the effectiveness of these crucial federal programs. On October 10th, additional RIF notices were issued. We're going to hear today about the impacts at the CDFI Fund, which supports Native CDFIs in expanding economic opportunities in Indian country, at the Office of Indian Education and the Impact Aid Office, where cuts threaten education opportunities for Native students, and at HHS, where staff reductions to SAMHSA, HRSA, home programs that fill gaps left by IHS, especially when it comes to behavioral health. Now, not all of these offices have Indian or tribe in their names, but each plays a critical role in serving Native communities, and all are part of carrying out the federal government's trust and treaty responsibilities. I've consistently reminded agencies of the unique government-to-government relationship and that these obligations must be upheld, even in times of challenge. So, well, it must kind of a meeting under perhaps not the best circumstances right now. I do hope that today's hearing will be a productive one. We all want our government to work. We want our government to serve all the people of the United States, including our Native peoples. And as senators, I think it's our responsibility to listen and understand the day-to-day impacts that communities are facing during this shutdown, and that's what we intend to do here today.